At the beginning of Ice Cold Lemonade, Petunia and Giggles are running a lemonade stand. The way that Petunia and Giggles are resting their heads on their arms is a reference to Peanuts, when Charlie Brown or his friends meet up at a brick wall. In tongue-in-cheek, Sniffles' tongue is chasing the mother ant. She then uses a leaf like a parachute, and then uses it as a boat to cross the water. Sniffles' tongue goes in and Mole takes a picture. This is of course a reference to the Loch Ness Monster. In Blind Date, the Mole goes to Giggles' home for a date, but he goes to Lumpy's instead. Lumpy is then seen eating the chocolates in Mole's car, but then we see this semi-trailer truck. This is clearly a reference to the 1984 Transformers Optimus Prime toy, due to the cab being red with a stripe, but especially the stripes on the side of the trailer, with an image that resembles the Autobot symbol. Giggles, Cuddles and Almost Lumpy are pulled into a tornado in breaking wind. Splendid ends up swallowing the tornado, but gets an upset stomach.
Bruh.
Flaky is seen holding onto a metal fence, and the gas from Splendid burns her down to almost nothing but bones. This seems to be a reference to one of Sarah Connor's dreams in Terminator 2. At the beginning of Crazy Antics, Sniffles spots an anthill and proceeds to put his tongue down it. What we can see here is a possible reference to the 1982 Anteater arcade game. In the wrong side of the tracks, the three roller coaster carts separate from each other, and later on, Lumpy uses his body to slow down Giggles and Petunia's cart. This is a reference to the end of the kart chase in Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom. But it was also mentioned about a Spider-Man 2 reference, which I assume the creators are talking about the scene before this, where Lumpy uses flag decorations to stop Lifty and Shifty's cart, similar to how Spider-Man stops a train from launching off its tracks. A very short reference to Back to the Future can be seen at the beginning of Blast from the Past, and the DeLorean is seen disappearing with only lines of fire left on Sniffles' TV. In Snow Place to Go, multiple characters are enjoying their time on the ship until it gets stuck in ice. After abandoning the ship, they end up very hungry, which leads to Giggles dying, and Flaky, while holding a gnome, takes the can of beans. Flaky ends up going crazy, and when she notices Toothy dead, she falls back and gets stuck in ice, and her gnome falls and creates a crack which breaks up a lot of the ice, and most pieces sink. This is a possible reference to the ice cracking scenes that are often caused by Scrat and his acorn in the Ice Age movies. In Pet Peeve, Lumpy is feeding birds, then Sniffles' blob creature is on Lumpy's leg, but Sniffles sprays it and walks away. Lumpy looks down and his leg falls off, causing him to throw the bird feed onto himself. Many birds on the climbing frame and power lines are then seen staring at him, but suddenly they attack him. This is a reference to the 1963 movie called The Birds, where many birds are gathering for an ambush. In False Alarm is multiple gaming pop culture references, like we can see Wii controllers on what looks like a Game Boy Advance SP, Atari joysticks, and what looks a bit like a Sega Genesis controller, to mention a few. But there is also references to some games too, like for Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, and Tetris, which is also referenced in Troll Loser. But there is also very likely references to GTA and Paperboy too.